This episode is brought to you by HighSpots.com. HighSpots.com is the leading provider of professional wrestling and mixed martial arts merchandise. From wrestling boots to wrestling DVDs, wrestling action figures to title belts, HighSpots.com has the largest selection of wrestling merchandise. Go there right now with our link, tinyurl.com/STS HighSpots. STSHIGHSPOTS. Shop there with that link. It won't cost you any extra, but it will help support this podcast.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids.
That's right. From STS Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. And I also got my buddy, part of one of the best duos ever. I mean, we had Starsky and Hutch, Ricky Robert, Tully and Arn, Doug and Anthony, Matt and Jeff, Animal and Hawk. Greatest duos ever, but damn, look at us, Lance. My co-hosts, my cohorts. I'm not going to let him talk tonight, by the way. Lance LeVine. How's it going, Lance?
Hey, we're here in the Sixlet Studios in Chicago. We are ready to go.
Sixlet still sponsoring you there in Chicago, huh?
We have all the Sixlets, not just that single Tide Pod that is sponsoring you.
Oh, yeah, Tide Pod. Yeah, that's and remember, guys, there's always ways of eating, smoking, whatever Tide, And believe it or not, you can wash your clothes with Tide. And hold on, since I'm not in the South now, but I'm originally from the South. In the South, they wash their clothes. Just let
You're
you
from
know
the
that,
South?
Lance. Wash.
We weren't aware that you were from the South. This is breaking news. Breaking news on Cool Kids Countdown tonight. BT is from the South.
Before you get into what we're doing, and I know we got a little bit of explanation of what we're doing this time. It's a little different, guys, and we're doing something different, too, instead of doing an intro and everything. Guys, if you haven't heard the Jeff Zinger one, or you haven't heard the Alan Steele, the latest two podcasts, go and listen to those. If you want to reach me and follow this, go to @ComicBookMarkBT. We're also at Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group. I've got a Shootin The Shiznit Facebook group. And all the archives are at www.stspod.club. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, Pod Paradise, Spreaker, SoundCloud, AM Radio. And Lance, tell us how, I never do this. We forget to do this almost every time. So what's your Twitter?
It's at ChocolatierLL. That is at ChocolatierLL on Twitter for all the snarkiness you can possibly handle in 24 hours.
There you
That's
go.
where to find me.
And all right, tell us what we're doing.
All right, we're calling it the Mojo Raleigh Invitational 2018. Part 1. That's right, it's a 2-part episode.
No one's ever going to get that. Go ahead.
All right, Mojo Raleigh Invitational. It's brought to you by Clearasil, by the way. And what we're looking at today is the Breakout Stars of 2018. These are the guys that we think are going to be superstars sometime throughout the course of this year. And a year from now, these guys will be household names, much like somebody once predicted that Mojo Raleigh would be, which I'm still waiting for that to happen, but I don't know. So we're going to do a slightly different format, a little peek behind the curtain on this one. Normally when we do our lists, BT and I put together lists independently, and we then compare them, synthesize them. We usually have 7 or 8 that we agree on, and we go from there. But we put our list together this time, and we had basically nobody that we agreed on, which is pretty cool that there were approximately 20 guys that we said are going to be superstars a year from now, the Breakout Stars of 2018. So just really briefly, the 2 that we did agree upon, so these are the ones that for sure we predict to be big stars this year, were Jeff Cobb and Pete Dunne. So what do you got to say about those 2?
Well, I mean, that's those 2 guys, me and you picked both, because Jeff Cobb, if he ever gets the opportunity, I think he's a big star now, just like you do, but if he ever gets that opportunity, to shine somewhere, he's going to be a huge star. And Dunn, I mean, he works WWE, but as soon as they try, bring them on full-time or do a full-time British show, you're going to see a lot of people. I mean, he's one of those guys that me and you watched the first or second time and said, hey, damn, I like this guy. So that's, that shows you the appeal of him.
So definitely Jeff Cobb and Pete Dunne are big stars that we predict coming out of 2018 are going to be big giant stars. So anyway, so this is part one of this Mojo Raleigh Invitational. So part one is Brian Tramel's top 10 list. And then we'll do mine in 2 weeks. We'll be doing my top 10. You guys can compare and contrast and, of course, tell me how much better my list is. But tonight we'll be doing Brian's top 10. So, shall we get started, my brother?
Let's go, man.
All right. So at number 10, you inexplicably have Punishment Martinez.
That's right. I tell you what, I like his size. I like the way he does some of the stuff that, only high flyers do. He also comes from the Monster Factory there. Danny Cage, kind of a friend of the show. I've seen some bad, reviews here and there with him. He's still green on some stuff, but I just have a fun time watching him. And then when he came out for the latest pay-per-view with the gimmick and everything, all I could think about is, him feuding with Baron Corbin. No, I'm just kidding. Vince likes guys like this. He likes the big guys. And so this guy's not only a big guy, but he's talented in doing some flying moves and stuff. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with him. He's probably going to stay with ROH, but guys, look for a big push on this guy. They're real high on him, and they like him. So, yeah.
Can't support you on this one. To me, and you just referenced it, he is the Latino Baron Corbin. When I watch him, I see a stalling guy. I see a generic big guy. That's all I see. In fact, Punishment Martinez. I mean, it should be Narcolepsy Martinez. I'm sorry. He's slightly better than Corbin. I mean, Corbin has improved a little teeny bit, but the problem is he looks so much like Corbin. If this guy goes anywhere, he's going to have to do something, either a completely different gimmick, completely dressed from head to toe like an Undertaker type of gimmick or something, because he's always going to have the stain of looking like a guy who sucks, I mean, Baron Corbin sucks. This guy looks like him, so he's going to have to do something completely radically different to differentiate himself from Corbin. Like I said, I just see a generic big guy, that he just doesn't do much. And with all due respect to Danny Cage, this guy just does nothing for me, so I can't see him breaking out in 2018. So Punishment Martinez at number 10. At number 9, now, when you sent me the list, it said Flash Webster Morgan. And so I took the liberties of correcting it. It's Flash Morgan Webster, my friend.
Yeah, you're right.
So at number 9, Flash Morgan Webster.
At number 9, Flash. I got something mixed up. Lance.
You got a few things messed up.
That's the first damn time I ever did.
2. Wait till we get to number 2.
That's the first time I ever did. By the way, I changed number 2. No. No, I didn't. All right, where we at? Okay.
Flash Morgan Webster.
Have you seen this guy, Lance?
Yes.
Awesome. I love him. I love he comes out. I've seen all. I just recently got, I'm not turned on sexually by him because he's the wrong color. But just the look, he reminds me like David Bowie, Elton John, something like that. I mean, the whole gimmick where he comes out with the glasses and what he's wearing, and he fits in that, with Marty and all the other guys from the British groups. But I just love him. I don't know, and he's also excellent. You guys search him on YouTube.
Called the internet.
If you search him on YouTube, he's excellent on the mic. He has a couple of videos there where he actually just sits down and talks you into the screen as like, damn, I want this guy to succeed. So that's what really, I like the look. He's an excellent worker, and I loved him on the mic. So, yeah.
Since you said that you're from the South, it took me a minute to realize that you had just said David Bowie. I don't know what the hell I thought you were talking about there, but it took me a minute to realize David Bowie. And the fact that you're turned on by Elton John is a bit alarming. But anyhow, Flash Morgan Webster, the easy thing to remember, FMW. That's like a wrestling promotion. You might have heard of it, so maybe you'll remember his name next time. He's from Wales, and I couldn't think of anybody else from Wales. And now I'm waiting, Tom Burke will probably write in and say, the great Scooter McCoy was from Wales in the 50s, so whatever. I do like that he comes out with the Who logo on all of his gear. That's kind of cool. But honestly, he's kind of just a small guy, like a white meat kind of look to him, and nothing distinctive. It's funny that you mentioned race before, but anyway, nothing distinctive about the guy. Now, I will admit, I haven't seen any promos, so I don't know. But what he came across to me in the matches that I watched him in is another Jack Gallagher. And I learned on Suplex City Limits this week that it's Jack Gallagher. So he's Jack Gallagher, but with better accessories. He comes to the ring with better stuff. So good wrestler for sure. What I saw, I liked, but nothing really stood out to me about this guy. So Flash Morgan Webster, you have at your number 9 spot. White meat baby face, however they say that in Britain, whatever British is for that. So white meat blood pie or whatever it's called. So at number 8, you have one Flip Gordon.
Flip Morgan. Have you seen
No,
this
Gordon,
guy?
not Morgan, Gordon. Jesus.
Hey guys, this is gonna be fucked up, and we don't. Hey, we're doing it like Doug and Anthony do, you know. By the way, I see my misspelling on that one. Okay, so let's get to Flip Gordon. Man, this is a guy that I seen like 3 times. Within the 3rd time, I was like, and I know you know this, but I went into the Facebook page, and actually put him over after I just watched one match with him. I usually never watch one match of some guy and go, damn, this guy's awesome. He's going to be a big star. But he reminded me of like a combination of Ricochet and John Cena in the sense that he had, all I could see was a bunch of charisma, and see him doing all these moves, and still green, but doing all these moves. If he gets the chance, he will get the chance this year. He's been to Mexico. He's been, he'll go everywhere that he wants to go, and he'll get a chance. And within 2 or 3 years, this guy, and by the end of this year, he's going to be a big deal to everyone.
Honestly, after watching a couple matches of this guy's, he should have been your number 1. When I came away, I had seen him a little bit here and there, but I did check him out on YouTube a little bit. And honestly, I don't know how he wasn't your number 1 in that grouping of your 10 people. I saw a match of him and Ricochet at a baseball stadium in upstate New York, and it was just ridiculously good. He kept up with Ricochet. And the best part about this, just as a side note, is this was just recorded by some fan in the audience. And you hear a little kid like doing basically little kid type commentary during the match. And it's actually fantastic. The kid is like just all into it and bought in. And his dad is like, his dad knows what's going on and stuff. So it's like actually really good conversation between this little kid and his dad watching Flip Gordon. But I would say Flip Gordon, good-looking kid, kind of small, but I think he can definitely connect. I also got to see him with Will Ospreay at Global Wars for ROH here, which was also a phenomenal match. The only things that I think may hold him back, he looks like a cologne. I don't know which one. It's either Primo or Epico, but he looks like one of those dudes. So maybe they bring him in WWE and put a mask on him, and they just get over the whole problem and just call him a luchador anyway. And the other issue is the fact that he's currently, I believe he's in the National Guard, so I don't know what his time commitments are as far as his availability to take a full-time position in wrestling. So I think he may be stuck where he's at just because of that, but also just phenomenal guy, one of the best acrobats in the business today. So I can't disagree with you on number 8, Flip Gordon. At number 7, what's that beeping? Are we good?
Yeah, we're trying to stay in time here.
Oh, I thought maybe Trump pushed a button or something. Okay, and so number 7, you had Dante Fox.
Yes, AR Fox, Dante Fox, whatever you want to call him. Fox. Hey, he's all over the indie scene right now. And if you haven't had a chance to see this guy, go to YouTube. And I'm so surprised that we haven't seen his name come up on tryouts and stuff, and it may be because he's either going back or still under contract with Lucha Underground. Now, tell me exactly what that match was, Lance, that I raved about, and it was it on a special episode of Lucha? Because you told me to go watch it, and I went and watched that episode.
It was the season finale, which was like a 4-parter of Ultima Lucha. So it was the season finale that just aired, I don't know, whatever it was, 4 months ago, of Lucha Underground. And it was either the second or third part of the 4 weeks of Ultima Lucha that they did. So it was like, I think it was called the 3 Stages of War. That was the match.
Just crazy match, just bloody glass, you name it. And I mean, I've been watching all of his stuff. After I watch that match, I go on YouTube and watch other matches. A little small, a little skinny, but just very talented. I haven't seen anything that you see that you see a lot of high flyers. They'll do some moves and they just look green when they do them. This guy's so smooth. Very, very fun to watch.
Yeah. I loved that match too, like you just referenced. I thought that match was just phenomenal. And he's been there for like 2 or 3 seasons now working with Killshot. It's the two of them working together quite a bit, and they have great storyline, but just fantastic match. If you like, garbage wrestling or whatever you want to call it, stipulation matches, it was 3 stipulation matches in a row with all the glass and the ambulance and just you name it. They did it in that match. So it was fantastic. My issue with him that I think is going to keep him from going anywhere is too much baggage. I don't think that they wouldn't sign him because of his look or his race or anything else, but he's got a lot of baggage to him. He comes from the Matt Riddle school of why WWE is not going to touch this guy, shall we say. So we'll just kind of leave that part at that. And also I've heard some stories about him in the adult film industry, shall we also say. So I think that while his stuff in the ring is fantastic and we all like him, I can't really see the guy breaking out from where he's at right now from the level that he's at in the indies because of all the excess baggage that he has. So I cannot say Dante Fox will be a huge star in 2018, my friend. So at number 6, you have the Beast or Monster or Experiment or whatever the fuck he's called, Lars Sullivan.
You know what? I know you're probably going to shit all over this, but I fucking love Lars Sullivan. I mean, he reminds me of the Mongolian Stomper, if we had Tom Burke right here on this show right now, he could tell you everything about the Mongolian Stomper.
Mongolian!
Mongolian.
Mongolian! Jesus! Mongolian. It's not Mr. Magoo. It's Mongolian, not Mongolian.
Hey! Tom Burke could tell you that's the correct way to pronounce that. Stomper, that's who he reminds me of, and I just love him. I love the mannerisms. He's stiff. The only thing that I could see is that he wears this huge fucking knee brace. And almost every match I've seen, he has this big knee brace on, doing the Stone Cold thing. And I just think to myself, if he's already hurt or he needs that knee brace, I don't know how many years you can get out of him. He's one of those guys that Vince is going to love and like, but they have to push him, They have to push him as a monster. Knowing WWE, they'll probably push him as a some kind of cartoon character when he comes in. I don't know what they'll do with him, but if given the opportunity, this guy's going to get over Braun Strowman. I promise you.
I just want to have you do an entire episode about the mannerisms of the Mongolian Stomper. I mean, that would just be radio podcasting gold right there. So anyway, Lars Sullivan, Super Green. I was wondering, what is his background? I don't know what his background is. Was he in football or was he, did he work the indies at all? I don't really know anything about the guy, but really green. I think he needs a ton more time in the ring. This is a guy that they better not call up anytime soon because he needs to stay down there, and he has the potential, like you said, as a monster. He's got some charisma, but on promos, just absolutely forget about it. I mean, this guy needs to be a silent monster with a manager. Case closed. Just like, it doesn't have to be Heyman because that's always the go-to with everybody is Heyman, but they need to put somebody who can talk, like a Gary Hart type guy, with him and that can do all the talking, because that's what this guy needs to be, is just a heel monster, just tearing up the competition. Just on promos, when he opens his mouth, forget about it. It's all over. It ruins the aura or the mannerisms that the guy has. I think that, like you said, you touched on it. They match him up with Strowman down the line, but it has to be way down the line because Strowman took that essentially a very similar role and ran with it and really developed really quickly. And they did a really nice job bringing him along slowly to get him to the point where he's at now. Lars Sullivan isn't anywhere near ready for that. So, he could, but I just don't think 2018 is going to be his year. I could say maybe a year, maybe 2019, possibly with this guy. So, Lars Sullivan at number 6.
All right. Hey, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
NFLShop.com is the official online store for the National Football League. It offers the biggest selection of officially licensed NFL merchandise online. Shoppers looking for jerseys, the Game Day Collection apparel by Nike, and headwear from New Era will find what they want from all 32 teams at NFLShop.com. The season may be over, but you can still get all of your division-winning shirts as well as Super Bowl apparel right now if you go there visiting them with our link, tinyurl.com/STS NFL Shop, STS NFL SHOP. Shopping there with this link will cost you nothing extra, but will help support this podcast. Now, back to the show.
All right, I'm back with my buddy Lance LeVine, also known as #cunt.
Lunch. Hashtag lunch.
I'm sorry. All right. Here we go.
All right,
let's go to 5.
Back to this Mojo Raleigh Invitational. At number 5, we have our only New Japan entry, Kitamura.
Hey, man, if you haven't watched New Japan, haven't watched some of the opening matches, you're missing out. I don't know what to say about this guy. He's green as hell, but there's just something about, I don't know. To me, he's a star. I mean, he is a big steroid monster. I'm sorry, maybe he's not on steroids. Allegedly a big steroid monster. But just to me, he's got charisma written all over him. He's already in kind of an angle for the next few, for the upcoming cards, where he's having to go against X amount of people. And if they ever put him over a major person, people, and they know how to do that. New Japan knows how to push the guy and when to push him. What's probably going to happen, they'll end up sending him to Mexico or over here. But he's just huge. I like him. I think he's better than, say, a Lex Luger, when Lex Luger first started out, which, isn't saying much. But I think he's going to be a huge star by the end of the year.
You predicted the wrong one. You were one too early of me shitting on one of your picks, because this one I don't get whatsoever. He is the Japanese Goldberg to the nth degree. I mean, he's way too roided out to fit into here. He's way too roided out to be a popular and good wrestler in 2018. I'm sorry. He can't go like the guys. Like, the problem I have with him is that he works in New Japan, and he is surrounded by a million guys that can fucking wrestle their asses off. New Japan to me is the group that has Naito and Okada and Tanahashi and Omega, and these guys that are great, fantastic, memorable, once-in-a-lifetime wrestlers. This guy just doesn't fit in there. Not to say that New Japan can't do something with different guys. Like, they make Yano. Somehow Yano works. And a completely different act, but somehow that act works to differentiate things and mix things up in New Japan. But I don't see how this guy could possibly make it. And he's way too fucking tan. I don't like that either. So that fucking tan needs to go. I just can't get behind this guy because he's so green, like you said. He's so roided out. I don't care. It doesn't have to be alleged. It's fucking roided out. I don't know how you say roids in Japanese, but he's so roided out. Can't get behind the guy because there's just way too many great workers working around him. So forget Kitamura. At number 4, you have Hangman Page.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I even put him on the list. Wouldn't have at the beginning of last year, but man, I've become a huge fan of his. I think it's because he's went in there and he's just works hard night after night. That you see him in a match, he's working his ass off, trying to get a better match each time. And then I noticed something on his last few matches that I watched. It's almost like, the ghost of Adam Cole or something. He's got a confidence and everything in himself that he didn't have. He still misses that fucking moonsault sometimes. But still, I really like him. He's come a long way in the last year. I don't know if we're going to see him go anywhere but where he's at, but I think we're going to see him in a major program where people will be talking about him.
To me, he's just another guy, in the Bullet Club. I don't have anything against the guy. I think he is getting better, appreciably better as a wrestler over the years. He's gotten a lot better. But the problem, since we're looking at Breakout Stars in 2018, the problem is he's not going to break out because he's surrounded by guys that are way more charismatic than he is. He's going to get lost in the shuffle. He's working with guys like Omega. He's working close side by side with Kenny Omega, the Cody and Brandy Rhodes act, the Young Bucks. I mean, these are people that are tons more charismatic than him. So there's no way he's going to be a breakout star because he's just, like I said, if anybody's going to be a breakout star in that group, obviously it's Omega. He's just going to get lost in the shuffle. I think the only way he would have a chance is if he were to be the guy who breaks away from Bullet Club as the babyface to go against them as heels. Or whatever the dynamic's going to be. But the problem is there's a roadblock and there's a bottleneck in that position because it's either going to be Omega breaking away, Cody breaking away. Somebody's going to play that role before he gets a chance to. So I think he's a good hand, as they say, but that's all he's going to be is just a hand. I think he's always just going to be just a good hand in the Bullet Club, like a Tama Tonga or Tonga Loa or other guys that are Fale that are just happen to be guys that are in the Bullet Club. So at number 3. You have one Aleister Black.
I love the gimmick. I love the entrance. I think I watched him as Tommy Inn. Fantastic worker. He can wrestle. He can do a little bit of everything. The only thing that bothers me, and I know I put him, it's just what the WWE actually does with him. I mean, I want to say they can come up with one of the greatest entrances ever, but, they had that in Finn Balor and Nakamura, and I don't know whether they have killed both of those entrances or what. It just doesn't seem like the same thing anymore. I've liked everything I've seen, even squash matches, whatever. Put the machine, put the WWE behind him, and get a lot of people behind him. He's going to be a big star for them on the main roster.
Obviously a great wrestler, like you referenced Tommy End. Great wrestler, fantastic charisma, strong enough on the mic. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a classic, but he's good enough on the mic to get it across. But the problem, like you kind of touched on it, will the character work? Can they do something with that character to make it work on the main roster? Will he languish in NXT too long because they're so confused by the character? The satanic gimmick, is he a heel? Is he a face? I mean, on the surface, I would think satanic gimmick is supposed to be a heel, I would think, but I don't know. Will it get over with the masses? Will it play on the main roster? Or will they be afraid to touch it? Will they completely water down the gimmick? So that's my biggest concern with him. Great worker. I just think that you just referenced it. He's probably going to be a huge star in NXT. And come up to the main roster, and they're going to shit the bed with him because they won't know what to do with him to make it work. They'll be too afraid to go full on with the satanic gimmick because they're a PG company. So Aleister Black, I love the guy, but I don't think he's going to break out in 2018. So now we get to number 2, which every time you emailed me your list, it had Brazzers, and I'm really concerned.
Yeah,
I'm really concerned why your autocorrect took her name to Brazzers. But anyway. That being said, I believe you meant Shayna Baszler.
I do, and, a lot of things, the reason number 2, and a lot of people can say, why the hell is she all the way up to number 2? It's just, I listened to something this week, and I've always been, every time I've ever seen her, she's got better and better. She's got the it thing that's going to put her over. If pushed right, and I don't think they're going to fuck her up. I just don't think they're going to fuck her up on the main roster. And also something, I was listening to Meltzer this week, and he brought up some stuff that to me, she's really over with me because of this, because she's been a huge fan for so long, and that she knows the history of the business. She wants to be better. She wants to be a great wrestler. She's a great athlete. I don't think they can miss with her. That's why she's so high to me. By the end of the year, we're going to still be talking about her. She's going to be one of the huge stars.
And for the record, she does not work for Brazzers. I don't think she ever has. I don't think she ever will. But anyway, that's beside the point. You and the wife better talk about that. Anyhow, good charisma from her. So in the ring. I will say, Mike, not at all. Not ready yet whatsoever on the mic. She does the MMA gimmick obviously well because she is MMA, but it needs to be kept with her. It needs to be kept in small doses. Like, again, she needs to be a monster badass that wins in 30 seconds. She just destroys people in 30 seconds. The issue is there's just too much MMA stuff and MMA gimmicks going on right now. They brought up Sonya Deville, who obviously extremely limited in that. I think she had like 1 or 2 MMA matches, but the problem is they're portraying her as being an MMA gimmick. And now here's Shayna with the exact same gimmick. So if she is partnered with Ronda Rousey, if Ronda is at her side and Ronda is the mouthpiece of the whole act, then maybe it can work. And they need to leave them together for a good long stretch because I will say Shayna has, she was solid in Shimmer. I saw her in Shimmer for a couple of years before she got pulled up to WWE. She definitely improved, but I just don't think she's ready just yet. The one thing, too, that is not mentioned very much that's going to work against her is the fact that she's 37 years old. And obviously she's probably been doing MMA for close to 20 years. So, I mean, she's not going to have that long of a lifespan in WWE just because she's already 37. So I wish her the best. I hope, because she came from Shimmer and I have a soft spot in my heart for them. I hope she does well, but it's a very limited act right now. So we shall see. Now, at number 1, your top pick for a breakout star for 2018 is Ricochet.
You know why? Because they're not going to fuck this one up, Lance. They're not going to fuck it up. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what. They're not going to fuck up Ricochet. That's pretty much all I got to say, really, because I think by the end of the year, all us internet wrestling community, all us smart marks or whatever the fuck you want to call us, fans, by the way, we're all going to be excited because they're actually pushing Ricochet. Look, AJ Styles is a world champion, and we thought they were going to fuck him up, and I really thought they were. AJ against Ricochet. Just think of the matches in the WWE right now that we could see with Ricochet, and all they have to do is number one, don't fuck with his name, and give him the opportunity. Don't put him on 205 Live. And I swear he's going to be one of the top stars by the end of the year. Even though he is one of the top stars, there's going to be more and more people out there that know who the hell he is.
His real name is Trevor Mann, so they'll probably make him Trevor Mann! He'll be a superhero, or he'll be Shay Ricks. I'm not sure. It's either going to be Shay Ricks or Trevor Mann. God, I want it to work with Ricochet. I want to agree with you. I want you to be right on your number 1 pick for sure, because I've had the luxury of seeing the guy a handful of times and talking to him here and there. Great guy. Obviously fantastic worker, one of the best in the business today without any hesitation in saying that. He's got the charisma, he's got the in-ring, obviously he's the best acrobat today. I mean, that's probably not even a debatable point. Mike skill's good enough. He didn't really have to talk much of anywhere where he was. He talked a little bit as Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. So good enough Mike skills, but bottom line, just the charisma and the in-ring is more than enough to carry this guy. But the problem for me, and you talked about it, is the track record of bringing guys who are can't-miss superstars and the way they fucked them up. They fucked up Nakamura. They could possibly still salvage that one. Yes, it worked with AJ, and yes, you've got me salivating at the thought of AJ versus Ricochet or Nakamura versus Ricochet or even Zayn and Owens and Ricochet again. That would be fantastic. So with the fact that AJ worked and AJ made it to the top, it could work. I'm perfectly fine with him going to NXT first. I know that there are going to be the smarks are going to complain, like, this guy doesn't belong there, he doesn't deserve to be there. It's fine. Let him learn their style, learn the cameras, learn everything else that he needs to learn about WWE, so that's fine. Don't rush him to the main roster. But there we go. He's going to get over enormously in NXT, and then do they drop the ball when they get him to the main roster? Time will tell. So there you go. There's your top 10, my friend.
All right, guys. Join us in 2 weeks. We talk about Lance's top 10. Mine's going to be better, but, we're going to talk about Lance. Same bad time, same bad channel for the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there.
Love my daddy.
Shit.